How you doing? Hi guys, Shelby here, and today I'm joined by Maui. If you're new to the channel, hello there, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe while you're at it because you are not gonna wanna miss this incredible journey through the world of superheroes. And not just the comic book variety, oh no, I'm bringing in the wonderful world of animals that have superpowers of their own because as a wild animal biologist, I thought, combine my two passions. So today we are looking at the incredible polar bear and the mighty Thor. Thor was created by the incredible team of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, making his first appearance in Venus number 11, The End of the World, that was released on November 1st, 1950. Thor, of course, is based on the Norse god Thor, aptly named, and he is the god of thunder. In the comics, his father is Odin, the All-Father, and his mother is Gaia, the actual human embodiment of Earth, which gives us a clue as to his birthplace, which was a cave in Norway. There's another being that started their life in a cave, not with a box of scraps, but in a cave. I really can't say cave without saying the Tony Stark quote. Let's try that again. Thor starts his life out in a cave, while polar bears start theirs in dens. Wild polar bear cubs are born in December. In fact, females can have 1 to 3 cubs. Polar bear cubs and their mothers stay in the dens until March and early April. That's quite a long time to be spent in a den, but it is very important to the cubs' development because they are born blind, toothless, pretty much helpless, and they have short, soft fur. After many years of defending his home realm of Asgard and winning wars, doing lots of godly stuff, it all went to his head. So Odin decided to, hey, send him to Earth. He'll become humble there, right? Well, he didn't just send Thor as he was. Oh no, Papa Odin made sure he really did become humble by making him a handicapped human doctor known as Donald Blake. Thor is quite a unique individual. He is half Asgardian and half Elder God. That makes him very powerful. In fact, one of the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe. In particular, Thor is incredibly strong. In fact, a story of his strength comes from the comics in which he was able to lift the Midgard serpent. This serpent is not your little baby corn snake. Oh no, it gets the name Midgard serpent because it can wrap itself around the earth, guys. That's a pretty big serpent. And for Thor to be able to lift it, he probably didn't even break a sweat. Polar bears are also known for their strength. They have incredible power, especially in their paws, because they can lift out a seal from the ice that's in the water. Well, okay, polar bear here, ice here, seal here. They can lift out a seal that's between 150 to 200 pounds with their paws. They are really strong. With the help of Mjolnir, Thor can fly, which is quite impressive. In the movies, we see him often swing it around to get momentum and then chuck it, and then he trails behind, which is quite cool, right? But polar bears can't fly, can they? Well, they can through water. In fact, polar bears can reach speeds of about 6 miles per hour when paddling underwater. Their huge paws act to pull the water behind them. In fact, their nostrils even close when underwater. That is really cool. And it's no small feat either because they are actually a marine mammal. Then, of course, there's weather control. What kind of god of thunder would you be if you couldn't control the weather? He can bring rain, he can bring wind, he can bring thunder, surprise, and he can even make it rain fire. He can even bring blizzards. And of course, the polar bear is adapted to living in the Arctic. That's right, friends, let me get this rant out of the way. Polar bears live in the north. Penguins live in the south. They never come into contact with each other unless, of course, penguins are walking around the zoo during quarantine and say, hey, polar bears, from the outside of their enclosures. That's the only time they come into contact. Sorry, rant over. Polar bears can most certainly handle blizzards. So bring it on, Thor, because life up in the Arctic is very tough. Oh yeah, temperatures can plunge to negative 40 degrees Celsius. They have 2 layers of fur to help keep them warm. Their fur prevents almost all heat loss. In fact, polar bears are probably more prone to overheat when they run. And what's under that fur? Well, polar bears actually have black skin. This skin covers a thick layer of fat that can measure up to almost 4.5 inches thick. That's a lot of fat, but you need it when you live in the Arctic. Their main prey are ring seals. They are full of fat and quite a lot of calories. This helps keep their fat levels nice and full. Let's go over some stats. In this corner, we have Thor and Maui. Thor comes in at an impressive 6'6" and 640 pounds. In this corner, we have the mighty polar bear, Ursus maritimus, also known as a sea bear. Adult males can weigh up to 1,300 pounds. Woo, that's a lot of bear. When adult males stand on their hind legs, they can get up to 10 feet tall. Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. Ah, Mjolnir. Such a fun word to say and even funner to spell. Mjolnir is Thor's hammer. If you are worthy and you can hold Mjolnir, you pretty much get all of Thor's power. Except, of course, his god blast, because he's the god and he's the one that can do that. You can fly faster than the speed of light, which is quite impressive. And if you like speed, be sure to click here so you can see the latest video on the Flash versus the cheetah. And I'll also pop it at the end in case you dying to see if Maui will wake up. This sounds like a dating ad for Mjolnir. Do you wish that you could fly faster than the speed of light? Do you want to be able to shoot out electrical discharge? And do you like creating force fields, long walks on the beach, pina coladas, getting caught in the rain? Well, Mjolnir is the hammer for you. That felt ridiculous. But Thor isn't the only one to be able to wield Mjolnir. Oh no, good old Captain America can wield it. You might have seen it in, Avengers Endgame, where the theater in which I was watching the movie erupted into cheers. It was pretty crazy. And Thor's love interest, Jane Foster, can even wield the hammer. I am so looking forward to Love and Thunder. So excited. So, like how Thor is connected to Mjolnir, polar bears are connected with sea ice. Their paws are adapted for both life in the water and on the sea ice. Kind of like how Mjolnir can adapt. Because in the beginning when I said that Thor actually was banished to Earth as Dr. Donald Blake, well, his cane was Mjolnir in disguise. All he needed to do was strike it and poof, he became Thor with Mjolnir. Pretty cool. Polar bear paws are kind of like that. When polar bears are swimming, their front paws act like paddles and their hind paws act like rudders. Their paws have black foot pads on them. On these foot pads are papillae. These are small, soft bumps. The papillae grip the ice and keep the bear from slipping. Thor is a master of combat. Even as a mere mortal, he was able to defeat Fodder and save Captain America, wielding Cap's own shield and Mjolnir. What a sight that must have been. He even got in a bit of fisticuffs with Hercules. Now, he didn't quite win that one, but it was pretty close. Polar bears also are quite the master of combat, in a way. Their main prey, ring seals, sometimes bask on the sea ice. Polar bears take full advantage of this and can stalk their prey. When the seal lifts their head, the polar bear freezes. The polar bear stalks the seal until they're about 20 feet away. Then they rush in with killer speed before the seal can escape. Thor is also a master tactician. Being a god who enjoys war, you wouldn't expect anything less. Polar bears do the same thing. While seals are quick under the water, they do need to come up for air about every 5 to 15 minutes. So what do polar bears do? Well, they sniff them out and they wait by the breathing holes. That's right, polar bears are not only master tacticians, but they are patient as well. Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers. Notice my pretty awesome Avengers jacket. It was the threat of Loki, Thor's half-brother, that brought the Avengers together, both in the comics and in the movies. Loki, being the god of mischief, used an illusion to trick the Hulk in order to lure Thor in and try to attack Thor while he was busy fighting the Hulk. When a radio message was sent out for help, Loki intercepted it and sent it to Thor. But then it was also intercepted by Iron Man, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. When those three heroes came to help out Thor, they eventually got through to the Hulk, and the 5 of them joined together to defeat Loki. Polar bears are solitary. However, some scientists have seen polar bears sharing their meals with other polar bears. Those bears must beg appropriately. To be a begging polar bear, you must approach low to the ground, then slowly circle the carcass and the polar bears who are dining, and then gently touch noses with the polar bear who is in charge. The enemies of Thor. Well, there are quite a few, but I really want to focus on Loki. Loki is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Quite literally. Being the god of mischief, he certainly gives both Thor and the Avengers quite a difficult time. Even though Loki continues to try to kill Thor, Thor still has a soft spot for his brother. Aside from humans, other polar bears can be a threat to the majestic bear. Kind of like how Loki and Thor are sometimes at odds. In the movie Thor Ragnarok, there is a particular scene that really stands out. Hela destroys Mjolnir. She crushes the hammer quite easily, it looks like. Well, it is Cate Blanchett and she's pretty awesome, so. But all is lost. As the audience, you really feel for Thor and you see him struggle throughout the movie to come to terms with who he is without the hammer. And the same goes true for polar bears. Without their sea ice, what are they? Climate change is real, it's happening, and it's human-based. I am not a climate change expert. However, I can direct you to a few sites that will be able to help answer some questions you may have. I'll pop them in the links below. One of the websites is Polar Bears International. This is an organization that's exceptionally close to my heart. In fact, quite literally because I'm wearing the badge now. The reason is, when I was 16, I was chosen to be an Arctic ambassador. Not only did I get to see polar bears in the wild, but talk with scientists and figure out ways that we can go about raising awareness of climate change. Some might think it's too late to save polar bears, but it's not. If we come together, just like the Avengers came together to stop Loki, we can work together to make a difference, to stop human-caused climate change, to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. How can you do that? What part can you play? I like to ride my bike to work. Little things like that can add up over time. So how are you going to be a superhero? Check out the links below on how you can help. Now, Avengers, assemble. Thank you so much for joining Maui and I today on this mighty adventure to the Arctic and Asgard. If you have any questions or comments, sorry, he's walking on the table and the camera's shaking. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And while you're at it, like and subscribe. Leave a comment letting me know which superhero and animal you want to see next. Have a great rest of the day, and thanks for watching. Bye!